Hello and welcome. You're watching AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Adirayo Senami. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called on fellow Ecowas leaders to look beyond the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and tap into various opportunities that it presents for the improvement of lives in member states. The president made this appeal on Thursday during an extraordinary Ecowas summit on COVID-19, which was held via teleconferencing under the chairmanship of President Mahamadou Issoufou of the Republic of Niger. President Buhari was appointed champion of West Africa's COVID-19 response by the Ecowas leaders.
In every challenging situation such as the current one, there are also opportunities. Our region must therefore seek to find those opportunities provided by this gloomy global outlook for its benefit by embarking on the implementation of such critical policies, which somehow now will be difficult to accept.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Thursday confirmed 108 new cases of coronavirus in Nigeria, 78 in Lagos, 14 in Abuja, 5 in Ogun, 4 in Gombe, 3 in Borno, 2 in Akwa Ibom, and 1 each in Plateau and Kwara states. As at 11:30 p.m., 23rd of April 2020, there are 981 confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in Nigeria. 197 have been discharged and 31 have died. The Bodija Estates and Environs Muslim community in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, have distributed food items and face masks worth 5 million naira to 500 persons in its community. The chairman of the Bodija Muslim community, Alhaji Abidemi Shinyobade, said the donation is made to assist the less privileged in the community during the trying period of the coronavirus pandemic, which is ravaging societies globally. The chairman called on the organizations and religious bodies to be inspired by this gesture and provide for the needy in their respective communities.
With the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, ravaging the whole world, so for the upcoming Ramadan, it's about to start either Friday or Saturday, depending on when the presence of the moon is sighted. We want to assist the less privileged members of our community. And in doing this, we started a few days back. We are doing another batch today. We are giving to the less privileged.
Meanwhile, the task force enforcing lockdown measures to contain the spread of coronavirus in Rivers State, Nigeria, has killed an unidentified policewoman in the state. The incident is said to have happened at Eneka Town, Obiakpo local government area, at about 5 p.m. when members of the task force arrived the area and began to destroy goods belonging to defiant street traders. The State Commissioner of Police, Joseph Mokan, while confirming the incident, said a policeman attached to the task force fired random gunshots, and in the process the policewoman was hit by a stray bullet. Mokan said the policeman has been disarmed, arrested and subjected to orderly room trial, after which he'll be arraigned in court on Friday. He said there was no justification for the shooting and the law must take its course. The Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyeama, condemned reported maltreatment of Nigerians and other Africans in Guangzhou, China, and described it as racism, which he vows to fight to the end. He explained that Nigeria has engaged with Chinese government through the Nigerian embassy in Beijing and the consulate in Guangzhou. He said though the Chinese government denies any such discrimination, videos and reports prove otherwise. Onyeama noted that Nigeria will work with other African countries on definitive steps to be taken to tackle the situation. The consulate in Guangzhou has been instructed to systematically document every case of discrimination and damage suffered by any Nigerian. He further expressed disappointment with the Chinese government, stating that Nigeria has made it clear that under no circumstances will it accept racial discrimination against Nigerians, Africans, or any black people in China. The Supreme Court management in Nigeria, in a statement issued by its Director of Press and Information, Dr. Festus Akonde, on Thursday, says it is upgrading its information and communications technology to enable it begin virtual proceedings amid the lockdown triggered in response to coronavirus in the country. According to Akonde, the Apex Court tested the adoption of ICT by the judiciary by holding the National Judicial Council meeting virtually on Wednesday and Thursday. Akonde, however, explained that despite the ongoing lockdown, the Supreme Court has been sitting and giving judgments in time-bound cases. The Director of Press and Information says plans are ongoing to have relevant laws in place to ensure that any lawyer who is not registered for the legal email will not have his appeal listed for hearing at the Supreme Court. You are watching AD4 TV Radio. When we return, we'll bring you more news on the foreign scene, where the US President Donald Trump claims solar light could kill the coronavirus, and Ecuador's infection count nearly doubles in one day. Stay tuned.
Nigeria's Center for Disease Control, NCDC, is the government organization with the responsibility to protect the health of all Nigerians. NCDC has a Connect Center with trained officers who can respond to any questions you have on infectious diseases, especially in emergency situations. You can reach the NCDC Connect Center by phone calls and other social media platforms. Voice calls are toll-free, and the trained officers will give you information or guidance on where to get immediate help. Call NCDC toll-free line on 0800-97000010. Website www.ncdc.gov.ng. NCDC. Let's work together to protect the health of Nigerians. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Health and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, supported by University of Maryland, Nigeria program, with funding from US Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
Welcome back. In world news, the White House on Thursday said there's been emerging research on the benefits of sunlight and humidity in diminishing the threat of the coronavirus. William Bryan of the Department of Homeland Security said at a White House briefing that there are emerging results from new research that suggests solar light has a powerful effect in killing the virus on surfaces and in the air, adding that having more knowledge about this could help governors when making decisions about how and when to open their state economies. However, he stressed that the emerging results of the light and heat studies do not replace social distancing recommendations. More news from the US. The United States Congress voted to approve a $480 billion package in aid of small businesses, hospitals, and to expand COVID-19 testing. The legislation passed at the Senate earlier this week and will now go to the United States President Donald Trump, who has indicated that he will sign it. $310 billion will go to the Paycheck Protection Program, which was set up to help small businesses struggling from the economic deep freeze triggered by coronavirus, while $75 billion will go to hospitals and healthcare providers to address coronavirus expenses and lost revenue, and $25 billion will facilitate and expand COVID-19 testing. The Hawaii Tourism Authority has set aside $25,000 to send tourists away if they refuse to abide by the state's 14-day quarantine. The state said in a press release that outbound travel arrangements are being handled by the Visitor Aloha Society, a non-profit group that helps tourists in Hawaii deal with problems during their visits. The Hawaii State Attorney General, Claire Connors, said the ability to return people quickly to their airports of origin during the coronavirus crisis greatly enhances law enforcement's ability to ensure the success of statewide emergency measures. Some violators have been prosecuted for misdemeanor and forced to pay a fine. The Visitor Aloha Society then arranges for the travel back home and pays for the ticket if the visitor can't afford it. So far, 19 people have been flown back to their airports of origin since the beginning of the emergency. Hawaii has reported at least 596 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 12 deaths. Ecuador's health minister, Juan Carlos, says the number of coronavirus cases reported in Ecuador nearly doubled on Thursday, from 11,183 to 22,160. He said the sharp increase was not caused by a new outbreak, but was due to a backlog of tests in the country's laboratories, where thousands of tests were left unprocessed. Ecuador is one of the countries that has been hit hardest by coronavirus in Latin America. The country has the second largest number of cases behind Brazil, where more than 49,000 cases have been confirmed, including 3,313 deaths. And that's it on AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our social media platforms at AD4 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at AD4 TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Adirayo Senami.